So this is a review for I Tore a Putty Tat, released on the 1st of April 1948, with a blue ribbon reissue on the 25th of February 1956. It's the 519th in the series, and it's directed by Friz Freleng. Due to copyright, I can't show you the full cartoon, and at this stage, it's unrestored. The best way you can see it is on Bugs Bunny Superstar, on that wonderful, during the wonderful documentary where they show heaps of different cartoons. I have a link below, and it's a great documentary anyway, so you're not going to lose by actually watching the whole thing anyway. And of course, here's a quick synopsis for you in case you haven't seen this one. But essentially, Sylvester's owner orders another bird for the household, which pleases Sylvester, but he quickly realizes that catching this particular Tweety bird won't be easy like the previous birds that he's caught. And with me today is my fellow bird, I guess. He's my good friend Manny Cruz. Say hi.
Hello there, Putty Tat.
Hello, breakfast. I try, but just as always, a few bits of trivia to go through before we discuss this wonderful cartoon. So, first up, if this looks familiar to you, well, it's probably because you've seen Puss in Booty, which is the last public domain short available, so you've probably seen it a lot. But essentially, the general plot was reused for this short, and some animation was even lifted for this short. But thankfully, this one contains a lot of new gags, so it's definitely worth watching. Although, interestingly enough, the other cartoon was directed by Frank Tashlin, and this one's directed by Friz Freleng, so it's also interesting to see the two different directorial approaches to things. Now, this is the second Sylvester and Tweety short, but it is the first to have Sylvester speaking.
Oh, come on. Stand still.
Love Sylvester's voice. That's just my opinion, of course. And one thing we're going to discuss very soon is just how in this short, Tweety seems to be more aggressive, like he's still in that transition phase from the Clampett shorts to the becoming a little bit more passive in the later Friz shorts.
There's nobody here but us mice.
This saying I've noticed, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is what I was able to find. I believe that comes from "There's nobody here but us chickens," and according to UrbanDictionary.com, it's basically a sarcastic, who else would be here answer that was used at the time. But first up, what did you think of this cartoon, Manny?
I haven't seen this one in quite a long time, and what I was telling you prior to recording, I'll admit I'm not the biggest fan of Sylvester and Tweety cartoons, because especially, I would say late 50s on, to me it becomes very formulaic, and in general, I'm a fan of the pre-48 package. Post-48, obviously there's a lot of great cartoons, but in my opinion, a lot of stuff gets formulaic. But this one's really, really funny. I forgot how funny it is. And, it's still early on in the Sylvester and Tweety game. It's not to the point where Tweety's so tame and, in my opinion, kind of boring. I love this aggressive Tweety. It's like you still have the remnants of the Clampett Tweety, but with Frizz's spin on it. And Sylvester's super versatile as a character. And there was a lot of funny stuff in this cartoon. A lot of great Friz timing. Hawley Pratt doing his thing as well with the designs and the layouts. And yeah, this was much. My only complaint is I wish we had a better copy. You hear that, Warner Brothers?
Yeah, this is, at the time of this recording, there are only, I guess, we'll call it 2.5 things that need restoration. One short has been remastered, but only in SD, so it just needs a fresh coat of HD paint, I guess. But this one and one other one have not been restored yet, although I suspect it's due to the due to one unfortunate gag. But even then, it's not the worst thing we've seen in these cartoons for sure, or at least the worst thing that Friz has done in some of his cartoons, especially.
This is the least of his crimes.
Yeah, exactly. Going to heaven on a mule. Anyway. But I saw this many times as a kid. This was on Bugs Bunny Superstar, which shamefully, I have to admit, when I first would watch that documentary, I would fast forward to, remember fast forwarding when you had VHS kids? Just to get to the cartoons. But now that I know that I was definitely a fool for not watching all these wonderful people talking. But the weird thing is, though, on one of the sets, it shows the blue ribbon part of it, but then on the Water Archive release of Bugs Bunny Superstar. There is a title card in there, but no credits. I don't know if that's just a thing because it was a Clampett project or something. I don't know. But in any case, it still needs to be restored. I think that's the bottom line there. So, now discussing our favourite points. You and I both agree that the best part of this show is Sylvester dressing up as the maid and doing that stupid Swedish accent.
Open Yemeni, every day the same thing. Clean out the bird cage, clean out the bird cage. Come on, little birdie, out you go. You still ain't finished the job.
Not only is it hysterically funny, but it also shows how great Mel was, because he's not only doing a voice, but he's doing a voice imitating another voice. That's not easy to do. Alright, to be fair, yes, Sylvester was closer to his voice with a lot of slobber, but even then, it's not easy.
Absolutely.
It's incredible. But you were mentioning that you like the look of this maid, like the maid costume on this Sylvester. It's just so stupid.
I haven't seen this cartoon in a long time, and that part, I know that part in particular specifically because the payoff of the joke, which unfortunately is the blackface gag, and then you hear a little bit of Carl Stalling throwing in shortening bread as a cue, which unfortunately is like the stereotypical blackface song. But before that, when he's coming out again, the accent started killing me, the Swedish accent, but in particular, just how ridiculous the maid outfit looked. And the thing for me that made me laugh the most, which is it's how obscenely large those heels were on Sylvester. It's like looking at a little kid take their mother's shoes and put them on. And, for a little kid, it looks adorable. But to see it Sylvester do is just absolutely hilarious. And whoever designed him with that maid outfit in particular, gets a round of applause because it was cracking me up.
Oh, yeah. It's so good, so good. But this was written by Ted Pierce, so I guess he might have something to thank for it. I don't know. Also, this is one of the things I like seeing in a lot of the Friz shorts is just seeing where can we see the name Friz hidden in there. It's kind of like his way of doing like the Hitchcock cameo, I suppose. That's one way to look at it. So here you would see Friz as I think it was like a soda can or something in the background. But do you catch out a lot of these Friz background stuff?
I know that in this cartoon I did catch that one. It looked like a can of baking powder or salt or whatever. And I'm also thinking too of Bugs Bunny Rides Again, where a lot of the signs in the background, like Ken Chapin and Friz and a few other people, like their names are thrown in the background. And I always got a kick out of stuff like that. It's like, hey, let's throw in a plug for the guys on the staff and everything. And again, for people like us who know about the history and everything, it's cool to find these little Easter eggs before Easter eggs were a thing, so to speak.
I'm going to point out another favorite scene of mine, and I'm sure you like this one too. It's like how Tweety just so innocently gets this dog. I'm assuming it's Hector, but anyway, we'll call him Hector for this short. And he just brings him in, and it's just like, oh, I found you a playmate. And I like how he just puts the dog inside the cage, and that big smile.
Oh, the poor little Putty Tat, all alone by himself. Here's a little putty dog to play with.
That appears when Tweety just innocently puts the cover on the birdcage. That gets me every time. It's so funny. But now the all-important part of the review that everyone enjoys is the ratings. So, what would you rate this one out of 10, especially considering that you're not the biggest Sylvester Tweety fan?
It was definitely way funnier than I anticipated. Some I also forgot to mention, I did like some of the, Carl Stalling working his magic. For Tweety, here singing in the bathtub, when Tweety's swinging on his little perch here, she was an acrobat's daughter. Some other cues, lots of funny gags, obviously great Friz timing, and I love aggressive Tweety, when he used Sylvester's uvula as a punching bag and purposely opening his mouth just to get his hat out twice, which made me laugh both times. I'm going to give this one 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, Definitely. And the reason I give it that rating, which I wanted to mention as well, why I'm giving it this rating is this Tweety is what I call the transitional Tweety, so to speak, where it's not quite Clampett's Tweety, but it's also not quite what Tweety would become in the later shorts, where he's a little bit more passive. In this one, it's like, I don't know, it just has a nice balance.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed this one a lot more than the other Sylvester and Tweety shorts as a result. I'm not saying the later ones are necessarily bad, but this one just sticks out because of this point. I mean, what do you think of that?
No, 100% agreed. It's like, I mean, I am a fan of the Clampett Tweety. Not only the behavior, but also the character design. And as I've said before, the later Tweety, it's just, he bores me. But this is like it's a nice happy medium where it's like you have more of the charming character design from the Freleng cartoons, but still with a nice flavor of the Clampett aggressiveness. It's a nice happy medium.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll wrap this one up here. But again, Bugs Bunny Superstar, and watch it anyway, not just for this cartoon, but also for the fact that it's, you're also getting a wonderful documentary at the same time. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.
Bye.
Hello, Pet Shop. Will you send me another cat? Oh, he'll have a nice, quiet home, and I'm sure he'll be very happy here.
Her don't know me very well, do her?